Hello, good morning, everyone. So let's have our daily briefing for today. And let's have a quick market recap on yesterday's data. Okay, so first things we have the trade balance for Eurozone for the month of September. So the previous data is 3.5 billion euro and the market forecast 10.7 billion. And the release time yesterday, it was 6 p.m. And the actual data, it was 7.3 billion euros. So lower than the market forecast, but it's higher compared to the previous one. But however, this data did not create any much volatility, to be specific, on the euro against the US dollar. And for today's economic data, during the European session, we actually have a handful of data coming up. So first one is you have the unemployment rate for UK for the month of September. So the previous in the market forecast still the same at 4.5%, and the release time, it will be 3 p.m. today. Followed by the employment change for UK as well for the month of October. So the previous is negative 51.1K and the market forecast at negative 30K. So the release time as well is 3 p.m. Followed by the employment change for Eurozone, yearly basis for the third quarter. So the previous data is 1.8% and the market forecast at 2.2%. And the release time, it will be 6 p.m. tonight. Followed by the employment change as well, quarterly basis for the third quarter for Eurozone. So the previous data is 0.7% and the market forecast at 0.4%. We also have GDP, or the gross domestic product, for Eurozone. So quarterly basis for the third quarter. So the previous data is 2.1% and the market forecast is slightly higher at 2.2%. Followed by the GDP as well, yearly basis for the third quarter. So the previous data is 4.2% and they are forecasting it at much lower at 3.7%. So let's see what will happen later for the euro dollar, since the yearly basis is forecasted at way lower compared to the previous one. And for the US session, in my opinion, this will be the catalyst for the data tonight, since a lot of analysts and experts says that this retail sales data for the US will bring much volatility on the market today. So we have retail sales for the month of October. So the previous data is 0.7% and the market forecast at 1.2%. And the release time tonight, it's 9:30 p.m. And for our key product for today, first things we have the British pound against the dollar. So my personal opinion is just for today, or the whole week actually, it's not a good time to trade the market, especially on the short term, but rather we're going to look on the short term or long-term trades for a lot of products. So to be specific, we have the British pound against dollar on the 4-hour time frame. So this currency was actually fallen to the lowest level in more than 10 months. And as of this moment, the current price is around the 1.37 during the Asian session. But however, this one is actually my personal chart. So my personal opinion right here is that since the pound dollar is around the 1.3350, it established a good support at this area. But however, if the GDP data for UK and then employment data later, actually, if I did not meet the market expectations, then you might see for this price to rebound or fell down around the 1.3350 once again. But if the market expectations beat the data for the employment data for UK, then you might see for this one to rebound at 1.3470. So if the price break this level around the 1.3470, then the bullish or the bearish momentum may decline at this level. But if there's one thing that I will be more pay attention with this one is the US data today. So even though if the price, if let's say the data for the UK beat the market expectations, but we have to pay attention that we still have the US data for tonight. So one possible scenario is if just in case that the UK employment data did not meet the market expectations and the price was around the 1.3350, then it may go down around the 1.32, especially if the retail sales beat the market expectations for tonight. And it may go down around the 1.32, which is the lowest price since December year 2020. So let's see what will happen later for the pound against the dollar later. And last ones, we have the euro against the US dollar. Okay. So right here, I base my chart on the daily time frame. So this currency or the euro dollar fell against dollar for the fourth consecutive days, and it's hitting a low of 1.1356 since July last year. So it's not a good sign for the euro dollar. And overall, since the economic growth is slowing down, it means that the policymakers they will need to keep the inflation at a high level. And based on the speech of Christine Lagarde, majority of the policymakers are more on the dovish side, which will hurt the euro dollar. Okay, and also we have to pay attention that in Germany the cases was actually swollen up once again, so it's not a good sign for the euro. And overall, on the technical side, the current price of the euro dollar during the Asian session is around the 1.1382. And if the euro dollar, okay, this one is just my personal opinion. If the euro dollar had a pullback around the 1.4965 or maybe higher than this area, then it may ease the downside pressure for this pair. But however, I will be more cautious with this pair today since we have the US data, the retail sales actually. So otherwise, if the GDP for Eurozone did not meet the market expectations, then we might see for this price to go down around the 1.12 for this week, which is the lowest level since the year 2020. So if we base on the daily time frame, it was right here. So this one was actually the month of July last year. And also, it may try to push all the way down to 1.10. So a possible level right here, but this one is too deep in my opinion, but it may try to reach around the 1.12. But again, on the alternative scenario is if the price of this euro dollar had a push around the or above the 1.465, then it may ease the downside pressure once again. So again, for the US session, we have to focus on this. We have to focus on this one: the retail sales, 0.7%, 1.2%, and for the European session, we have GDP for Eurozone, employment change, and unemployment rate, and we have the employment data as well for UK later at 3 p.m. All right, thank you everyone for joining our daily briefing for today. Stay safe and have a great day.